Well, howdy. Tonight's story is about my Grandpa Eldridge and my cousin Charlie. And this event happened on Grandpa's farm, and I can't even imagine what year it was. It was before 56, so I would think somewhere between 48 and 54, somewhere in there. Grandma and Grandpa still lived on the farm, and a little backstory about Grandpa, he liked his moonshine. And his favorite place to buy moonshine was from a old fella named Mr. White. And Mr. White was the local moonshiner. And I remember going with Dad and Grandpa up to buy a little moonshine from Mr. White, and Mr. White wasn't white. He was an old black man, probably 6 feet tall and 120 pounds, just as skinny as a rail. Kindest, sweetest old man you ever saw. And we went up there this one time, and they had this little ritual that they did, about how good this batch was, and take a little taste and see if you like it, and if you like it, well, I'll make you a good price on it and all of that. So anyway, they always had this little ritual, but this story's not about Mr. Black, or Mr. White. Gee whiz. Anyway, Grandpa had pint fruit jars stashed all over that farm. There must have been, I'm guessing 20, at least 10, but I'm guessing 20, stashed in a little fence post or a crotch of a tree or under a rock or something. And Grandpa, when he was out doing his rounds, he'd take a little nip during the day. When we were down there for the weekend, my family and my mom's sister, Aunt Velma, and her family were down there. And Charlie was always into mischief. Till the last day he drew a breath, I bet he was into mischief. But anyway, Charlie decided it would be great fun to find one of Grandpa's stashes, pour out the booze, and pee in the bottle. So we set about finding one of Grandpa's stashes, and sure enough, we each took a little sip, and God, it was awful. And I must have been 6 or 7, I don't know. No, I wasn't that old. I had to have been 4 or 5. I'm not sure. But it was, no, I must have been 7 or 8. Yeah, I must have been 7 or 8. Because after we came back from Washington State. Well, anyway, we took a little nip, and Charlie peed in the bottle and put it back, and the weekend wore on, and Sunday before we were getting ready to go home after the weekend, Grandpa pulled me and Charlie aside and said, "I know what you boys did, and I sure enough don't appreciate that." And that really disappoints Grandpa. And I was just devastated that Grandpa was disappointed. Charlie was kind of tee-heeing under his breath till Grandpa unloaded on us. But I don't think Grandpa ever raised his voice or anything. He was just really disappointed in the fact that we would waste his moonshine and then be so mean as to pee in his bottle. But anyway, Charlie was always into mischief. And I got blamed for that too, and I was with Charlie, but I sure enough didn't pee in that jar. Anyway, that's tonight's little story. I'll have some other stories about the farm, because that was a really good place to be, and I'll maybe later this week I'll have another story about the farm. Anyway, that's all for tonight. Love you guys. Take good care. Bye-bye.